Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to BSing Sports. I'm Bill. With me, as always, is Ryan and Timmy.
Oh yeah,
Thank you
I'm
for
on
joining
top
us.
this week.
Yeah, it's a little weird. I think we're gonna mix this up. It looks funny for me. Sorry, we're gonna have to put that back over there like that. All right, that's even better.
Back
Um,
in the basement.
uh, Listen, we got a great show for you. Obviously, we're doing the predictions. We threw a little bit of audible in there about an hour and 20 minutes ago. We decided to do a Phillies post game wrap up too. So we're gonna fire away with that first. Ryan, why don't you lead us off 6-3, I believe it was.
Yeah,
Yes.
6-3 final. Disgraceful for the first 8 innings, if I'm going to be honest. I mean, outside of Zach Wheeler, the whole thing was terrible. The relievers that they came in for the two relievers that came in for the first 8 innings didn't, give us much promise either. Robertson, I know, had a shutout inning, but he didn't look fantastic either. Obviously, Alvarado giving up the 2-run homer after a 2-out full count walk is not a good sign. The thing is, like, 2-out walks can really hurt you. They hurt you in Little League, they hurt you in the majors, and you can't do stuff like that. The offense didn't even exist. I think they thought the game was in Philadelphia. Glad they caught a flight in time to show up for the ninth inning because they really needed it. But I'll give them credit where it was due. The 2, 3, 4 guys, they were starting off the ninth inning. Those are the guys you pay your big money to get rallies like that started. And outside of Reese Hoskins striking out, the 3, 4, 5 guys did their job. They took pitches and they did they did exactly what they needed to do to win the game. And the end result is the only thing that matters. But there are some things to be concerned about. The offense hasn't been there for about a month now, and that didn't change.
Yeah, Ken Brandt says they never gave up. Go ahead, Tim. You can fire off.
Not only the 3, 4, 5 guys did good, the 6, 7, 8 guys also did very well. Put the ball in play. Bone got hit by a pitch by 101 and stood up clapping his hands. Let's go. Like that pitch did a sting a little bit. 101 off the shoulder got to hurt a little bit. But Bryson Stott, I'm sorry, Gene, the first one, hard hit ground ball past the second baseman. If the second baseman was playing in regular position, not infield up, could have been a double play if Gene don't running out.
It's all about situation, though, right?
Absolutely. Then we have Bryson Stott, rookie left-hander, hit the line drive. Goldsmith made a great play on it. But he came home and Sosa was safe at home instead of tagging first base for an out. I get he had to do it, but I think I still would have took the out, try to get out of the inning because now Brandon Marsh hit a single up the shortstop and 2 more, another one scores.
I can't believe that was ruled a single.
Yeah, me either.
So that's definitely a ball that Arenado needs to have. Now, let's go back to the Goldschmidt play really quick. Looking at it from where I was sitting, I don't think they get Stott on the second. But do you think they should have at least tried to go 2 there and get out of the inning? Goldschmidt maybe could have tugged the bag and then thrown it the second for a tag, or do you think it was always go home because we need to try and minimize the scoring here?
It's 100% go home all the time in that scenario. The way the double play depth works, particularly in that scenario, you got runners on first and third. The corners play up and the middle infielders shade the middle. So that's why Gene was able to get that ball past the second baseman because they shade up the middle usually on double play depth. Mm-hmm. And the corners are playing in specifically so they can get the ball home because that is anything can happen when trying to turn a double play. It's much easier to get 1 out than it is 2. So that's the way that goes. The throw was just a hair late. The Edmundo Sosa was just a hair faster than the throw. There was nothing wrong with that play. It just worked out in the Phillies' favor. So,
yeah, I'm in agreement with you. I was just curious if maybe there was like a difference of opinion. Maybe somebody thought that they thought, or maybe somebody looked at it and said, "Oh, I think maybe we could have gotten 2 there and gotten out of the inning." But
no. I don't know if you heard the announcer. The announcer said, "Why didn't he get tagged 1 and get the out?" I don't know if it was A-Rod or the other one. I don't know who the other.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know who the other guy's name is. We all know
it was Michael Kay. He does he's the not the color commentator. He's the play-by-play for the Yankees.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I think that was the right move. In all honesty, you're already losing in the 9th inning. If you go ahead and take that sacrifice, now you're down 2 runs in the 9th.
Yep.
You gotta go for the play at home. It's boom or bust at that point. You've already lost all the momentum in the 9th inning. You can't allow them to score anymore. Just didn't work out in their favor.
Yeah, like I said, I agree with you there. Now let's move over to the Arenado play, the one that Brandon Marsh weekly singles in the left field, the opposite direction. It looked like a ball that Arenado usually comes up with, usually makes a play on it. Usually, what do you think happened there, Tim?
He
And
was
they ruled it a single.
so it all begins with having runners on base. So I think he was the runner on second. Was it? It was Gene. It was Gene actually on
I
second.
believe it was Segura, yeah.
But he like kind of like hesitated and like see where if Arenado was like gonna get the ball and like so Gene like kind of ran in front of the ball, like trying to block his view a little bit. And then as soon as that happened, Arenado would probably pick his head up a little bit and it expecting a bigger bounce and it didn't bounce like he wanted to.
It's
But that's normally a routine play for Arenado, no doubt. Anytime.
he earlier in the game he had made a at least two that I remember, really good plays over there at third base. It was just odd to see him let one of those get by him. Ryan?
Yeah, I think whether the base runner may have interfered with his eye contact on the ball or the sun had something to do with it. I'm not going to sit here and say that Arenado just missed it because that doesn't hardly ever happen. So I'm going to assume that there was some kind of outside interference in his way. But I'm still shocked that they ruled it a single.
Yeah, so am I.
I also thought it could have very easily been ruled an error on Arenado. Now, listen, good for Brandon Marsh. He comes in, he goes 1 for 2 with a single and an RBI. I mean, good for Brandon Marsh. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about Matt Verling. He had a busy day out there in center field. He also goes 1 for 2 before he gets pulled from the game for defensive purposes. But I think Verling did his job. Ryan pointed out to me earlier because I made the mistake. Quintana is obviously a lefty, Quintana's obviously a lefty, so they go with Verling for the matchup there over Marsh to start the game. And I think Verling played really well out there in center field, and he even has a single where there's 1 out, 2 guys on, and then the Phillies leave the bases stranded. So yeah, let's talk about Matt Verling, or at least in that aspect. Ryan?
Matt Verling's a gamer, man. I love Matt Verling. You need guys like Matt Verling on your roster, guys that are willing to come in and play that platoon role in center field. Obviously, as you alluded to, he got swapped out when the righties came in, and Brandon Marsh, obviously the left-handed bat, for a better matchup. But you need guys like him. He plays good defense. He has not a fantastic but a serviceable arm to play center field or all 3 outfield positions. Puts the ball in play, runs hard, does everything right. So those are absolutely guys you want on the bench, especially for a playoff team, because he's going to make plays that matter.
It kind of reminds me, and not in any way, shape, or form, of the Power, but of the Greg Jennings, Jason Worth platoon we had in 2008 when we won the World Series. Those guys played just about every other day based on matchups, just like you pointed out. So it's good.
I think that's a little different because Worth ended up taking that job full time, and those were 2 completely different players. Worth was just a massive beast. I think Verling's a little different.
Tim?
So I like Verling playing in center, right, left. He has the energy that the Phillies need right now. He brings it to the field every day, no matter what.
Just keep in mind, he's a true platoon. He could play anywhere except for pitcher and catcher. I'm sorry, true utility is the word I meant. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I got a question for you guys. Do you agree with the Cardinals taking out what was the starting pitcher name again? Quintana with not even at 75 pitches yet?
So listen, this is all about logistics and like statistics or statistical analysis. I know why they pulled him. You don't want your starter to see the same right-handed bats. He's a lefty. Same right-handed bats 3 times in a lineup. A lot of times, the 3rd time through, they end up getting burned. So he strikes out Schwarber, and then he gets pulled. Do I agree with it? No. He's dealing. He wasn't really sweating at any point in time other than the leadoff double by Bohm, the inning before that. And then the Phillies left Bohm on third base. So to me, no, I think Quintana deserved to stay in that game until he showed that he shouldn't have been in the game. But I understand why they pulled him.
Ryan?
I'm never going to agree with anything like that. To me, you look back on the Rays 2 years ago when Kevin Cash went out and got Blake Snell way too early in that game when they had all the momentum and he was absolutely dominating. There's one thing that analytics can't tell you, and it's how your guys feel. The flow and momentum of the game. That's the one thing that analytics cannot tell you. And maybe Jose Quintana statistically is not good with right-handed bats the third time around the lineup. But the fact of the matter is the Phillies couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. They couldn't hit water if they fell off a dock. You can use whatever saying you want to. The Phillies couldn't hit him that day. So I think that they definitely pulled him too early. And it substantially cost them because they ended up using multiple arms out of the pen later in the game, and they got shelled for it. So I think that was a terrible move. Me personally, I think both starters were removed too early, but
That was my next question.
I do agree with that. Yeah.
I agree.
Particularly on the Philly side, because your bullpen's been terrible for a month.
Yeah, I when they went out and pulled Wheeler, he was at 91 pitches, I think it was at the time. 96 pitches. I texted it to the group with Ken in it. I flat out said if he's dealing 120 pitches, you leave him out there. And they went and got him at 96 pitches. Now I don't know what the thought process there is. If you don't win, there isn't a next game for him to pitch. So to me, it's let him go until he shows you he can't go. Same thing with Quintana. There's not another game. You're not saving his arm if you don't win. Let him go.
Now, I do understand a little bit because he hadn't thrown more than 75 pitches in a game in over a month. But at the same time, he wasn't showing signs of rust. He wasn't getting shelled out there. I'd have let him go and see how long I could have pushed him. I wouldn't have given him a pitch count or a limit. But he was passing the eye test with flying colors. So
his slider was still cutting. His fastball was still hitting 98, 99 on the gun. To me, that's a guy you leave out. And he wasn't leaving fat pitches either. The only bad pitch I think he made in the game was the one we all thought Arenado hit a 2-run homer on, and it ended up being just a deep fly out. And that's really the only bad pitch. Sorry?
You know what they call that? A good pitch because it was an out.
That's a good point. It's a really good point. No, so I'm 100% with you. I think they went and got Wheeler way too early. Fortunately, it ended up working out for the Phillies. Obviously, they get the 6-3 victory. They move on to 1-0 in a best-of-3 series, and you get Nola tomorrow. Nola, who historically has pitched very well against the Cardinals, not just this season. He pitched a one-hit shutout last year against them in August. Historically, Nola has been good against the Cardinals, and Alex Rodriguez even alluded to it on the broadcast. They showed a shot of Aaron Nola on the sideline, and he flat out said the Cardinals better hope they win here because if that guy comes out and does what he's been doing to the Cardinals, you're going home early. Like, A-Rod flat out and said it. So I'm hoping Nola, 125 pitches tomorrow for Nola, leave him out there.
I don't agree with that.
No.
If they have a lead,
you can't say set pitch numbers because if he gets shelled in the sixth at 75 pitches, then no.
Exactly.
Right, that's fair. My point is, if he's dealing and he's at 100 and 125, leave him out there.
Not at 125. No,
yeah,
I mean Nola's never been that kind of guy. That we're not talking about Roy Halladay or Justin Verlander or somebody that's made a career going deep into ball games at 9 innings. I mean, Nola has 4 career complete games. That 120 is way too much. But if he's at 100, I would through 7 or 8, I would leave him. I would let him go one. Somewhere in that neighborhood.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think 125 is too much. But I also, on 94.1, I was listening to Aaron Nola called in from Houston after the pressure in that game. He sounds like he's focused and ready to get this star going already. From Wednesday, he was ready. He said, give me the ball. I'm going to go in. I'm going to do it. We're going to move on.
He better be ready.
He's plans on being ready, so.
Yeah, so it's funny, Ryan. You pointed out on last night's show the historical aspect of the last dynasty playoff game for the Phillies came at the hands of the Cardinals, and we have an opportunity to send Molina, Wainwright, and Pujols home for the last time. My boss, who is a Cardinals fan, also mentioned that to me earlier today, and I was like, "Yeah, no, it's a crazy storybook ride, ain't it?"
Yeah. Also worth noting that in 20 and we're at 20 and a third innings now. Wheeler's pitched against the Cardinals this year, hasn't given up a run.
Hasn't given up an extra base hit.
No.
That's what they said on the broadcast.
Yeah, he hasn't given up an extra base hit against the Cardinals.
Yeah.
All season.
It's pretty phenomenal.
Now, granted, obviously we only see the Cardinals. He's only seen the Cardinals 3 times this year, but.
I mean, that's 3 games where you don't give up an extra base hit or a run. That's pretty good stats there.
I'm not complaining. I'm just saying I'd like it more if it was against the Mets or the Braves.
Yeah, definitely. Can we talk about the home plate umpire real quick?
Trash.
Absolute trash. So garbage, man.
All the high strikes that the Cardinals pitching got. I thought he was fairly consistent on the corners. It was them high strikes that really
Yes.
got me. The Cardinals pitchers really seemed to get those, and the Phillies weren't getting them.
And when Molina didn't get one in the ninth against Brandon Marsh, or no, Bryson Stott, he snapped on the umpire. Like, you can't be trading up those strikes there now.
And honestly, I agree with I agree with Yadier here on that one. Like,
Yeah.
your pitching staff has gotten that strike all day. You're relying on getting that strike all day, and now I'm not going to call it. Like,
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, no, I think Yachty was in the right. Also, Yachty should have been rung up pitch before that he actually struck out on.
Yeah,
I agree with that as
Right
well.
on the corner. Totally missed it.
Level of concern for the Phillies offense.
9 out of 10.
I'm gonna say 10 out of 10. So
I'm going to say 9 out of 10 because they actually showed up in the ninth inning when it mattered the most. So
makes sense. Absolutely makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, Remuto gets a one-out broken bat single, and that starts the entire thing for Helsley going down. Ryan, I know you want to touch on the Helsley situation
that
when he
was
was.
such crap, man. Nobody believed. Like, I had a bunch of Cardinals fans. I sent out a tweet that said, the MLB should really look into altering the rules for that because Helsley shouldn't be allowed to pitch for the rest of the series. It's similar to the NFL where if a guy goes down with an injury within the 2 minutes, they lose that team loses a timeout. Something along that aspect needs to happen because I'm not buying that Helsley was hurt, in all honesty. You mean to tell me this dude pitched to 6 batters and now all of a sudden, whatever injury he had earlier in the week is flared up, obviously wasn't bad enough that he could be on the postseason roster. So to me, that was just really weird, and I didn't like that one bit. To me, that was very Bush League, and we all knew what the Cardinals were doing. They were buying time for their guy in the bullpen to get loose. That's just what that was. But that was Bush League. I didn't like that move one bit.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one, Ryan. Too bad that tactic didn't work out for them. So.
Yeah, and rightfully so. It smacked him in the face. That's called karma. Life's a bitch. Your stripper name's Karma. Get over it.
No. And listen, I'm right there with you. Again, we have a text group that's going on. I was a little bit delayed, so you guys got to watch the end of the game before I did. No, and we were saying it's stall tactic. It's Bush League, like all of it. And I'm right there with you guys. I think it's absolute bullshit, and the MLB should do something about it.
Now they're not going to change. I don't expect them to change the rules now. That would be
change for the future.
Yeah. Look into that because that's.
All right, let's get into our prediction. Oh.
One more thing.
Okay. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Red October's back, baby.
I love it. I tell you what, guys, I missed playoff. I was like up in my living room, just walking around back and forth, watching the last inning. I missed playoff baseball in Philly, man.
Also, Bill, I don't. We'll have to talk on the side, but there's going to be a Philadelphia Phillies playoff game in a large city between the two of us that we might have to figure out something.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'll be in Dallas for most of that series.
Yeah, well, hopefully all of it if the Phillies, come out and sweep the hell out of them in 3 games. But we'll talk about that later.
That would be ideal. But yes, I'm right there with you. If I can find a way, I'll try and make a way. All right, let's move. Tim, you got anything else for the baseball game?
Nah, let's go
Phillies, right? All right.
Phillies.
Let's move on to our Week 5 NFL predictions. Anybody here watching and listening in? Let's go. Timmy.
Now we all got last night game wrong. We all picked the Broncos.
Yeah.
We all said that game was going to be ugly, and truthfully, I came out and said I didn't want to pick anybody. I would just gladly take being 0-1 because that game was terrible. The whole game was awful. It was a cringe to watch. I'm so glad that thank you to Adam for having me on his show, so I didn't have to pitifully watch that painful game. It was disgusting.
I shut it off at halftime, and then when I turned it on for the last 2 minutes of the game, I was like surprised that it was 9-9. I was like, how is this 9-9? And yeah, I mean, Ali says it flat out right here. That game was amazing, agonizingly boring, and it was one of. You know what? I want to talk about it. The primetime games this season have been absolute hammered dog shit. That's going to be my phrase from now on. Absolute hammered dog shit. I think I'm just going to run with it. The primetime games have been garbage. We've seen the Broncos in primetime 3 times this year, and the Broncos are shit.
Out of 5
I'm
weeks.
tired of seeing them.
Terrible.
Tired of seeing them.
Yep. Can we bring Pete's comment up real quick?
If you're the NFL and you're watching these games, you're switching the schedule going down the season at this point. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous.
Absolutely.
We can bring up Pete's comment. I just don't know how you can pick the Broncos in any game, even if it is the Colts, because we had already acknowledged that both of those teams are freaking terrible.
I just want to say thanks to Pete for trading with me today. I appreciate
We'll touch on
it.
that next week. But yeah, like, so here's the issue that I have, right? Is the NFL has a rule that every team has to play at least one primetime game. Cool. Money, notoriety, all that stuff. You know, teams make more money. The primetime games get more viewers, all kinds of stuff. However, like, the NFL really needs to take a look. I get that Russell Wilson going to the Broncos was a big deal, so you want to schedule them for 5 primetime games. You got to move the Broncos out at this point. There's no way that if I'm the NFL that the Broncos continue with their Monday night game next week. That can't happen. That it's going to be a record low viewers, in all honesty, because the Broncos are just a bad football team. They're a poorly coached football team that we've talked about over and over and over again, and they're just a bad football team. Russell Wilson at this point in time is a very overrated quarterback. Those of you that were saying he is the same as Matthew Stafford, I know Stafford isn't off to the best start of his career either this year. I'm taking Stafford hand over fist. Like, the gap is just getting wider every game that Russell Wilson suits up. I mean, he just looks awful.
Absolutely, man.
Like, how do you misread that play? They are obviously in man coverage. You go to the right side and go look at the guy that is designed to beat man coverage, the guy you have crossing the guy over in the slot. It's just terrible.
Yeah, it's worth noting that Russell Wilson missed a wide open touchdown at the end of the game to win.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The last play of the game, 4th and 1, which they should have kicked the field goal anyway, because your offense is stupidly incompetent. You haven't scored a touchdown all day. Kick the field goal and hope for the tie. But you have a designed man beater on the right side of the play, and here you are staring down your zone beater in man coverage, and then you force the ball into Cortland Sutton and it's incomplete.
I mean, I was hoping Cortland Sutton caught that ball. That would help me out.
Yeah, all of us in fantasy were hoping that Cortland Sutton would have caught that ball. Look, I'm one of those guys who was not like overly supportive of Russell Wilson, but I was supportive of Russell Wilson, and I got news for you: it's gone.
No, I'm not supportive of Russell Wilson anymore. He's overrated. Everybody has overrated Russell Wilson at this point. He can't win a game from the pocket. He's not an elite quarterback. It's just the reality of it.
Yeah, pull it up real quick.
Nick Poppich on YouTube says, is this a chip-winning team, 10-man PPR, 4-0 right now, Lamar, CMC, Lenny, Jamar Chase, CD, Kelsey, Godwin, Judy, Dobbs, Jacoby Myers. That's a good roster.
Holy shit. That's
10-man. This is why I don't do 10-man.
Positional advantage at tight end. You have the current QB1. You have CMC, who's a top 5 running back. You have Lenny, who could easily be an RB1, Jamar Chase. The only thing holding me back right now is that your wide receivers in of themselves, you don't have any top 10 wide receivers. But, I mean, with how explosive Jamar Chase is, that could change on a week-to-week basis. So I'd say so. Yeah,
you also have Jamison Williams coming off the IR in 2 weeks. I think you'll be okay. Jared Goff is, I think, QB2 right now. So he's only going to get better when he gets another weapon. I know Sun God St. Brown is on the field doing everything Sun God St. Brown can do. Amon-Ra St. Brown, for those of you who have not been following along the last couple of weeks. But yeah, once Jamison Williams gets back out there, I think it gives you another piece. So I think you're looking pretty good. But I mean, guys, look at this. This is why 10-man PPR or 10-man leagues are ridiculous.
10-man leagues are stupid anyway. You just end up with these stacked rosters forever.
He follows up with, I traded Patterson for Lenny a few weeks ago and then traded London, Jamal Williams, and Njoku for Jacoby Myers and Jamar Chase. No, I mean,
solid sell high trades.
Yes.
Definitely. Yeah, no, that was a good job on your trades there. I think once you get Jamison Williams, I think you're set, man. I don't think you need to go firing off and get any more trades. Now, obviously, if you can add another wide receiver, if you can find a way to get Diggs and it doesn't really cost you anything, go find a way to get Diggs. But I don't think you're in that position. I think you're fine where you're sitting. All right, we're 27 minutes in. Haven't made a single prediction. Let's get this going. First game I got is the Giants versus the Packers. Obviously, the Packers are favored in this one, but both teams are 3-1. Got to at least mention it. So Giants going to Green Bay.
If the Giants win this game, they're legit, but they won't. There's no way. But if the Giants somehow beat the Packers in Lambeau, they're a legit football team. And I don't think it's going to happen. Give me Rodgers. 2 touchdowns very easily.
They're not in Lambeau line. They're in London.
No. They are in London.
Yeah,
yes,
they're in London. You're right. Yep.
I'm still taking Green Bay either way.
Yeah. Give me Green Bay by 10 instead of 14. Neutral territory.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking Green Bay on this one. Don't get me wrong. I don't know if Daniel Jones playing, but Saquon Barkley doing his thing. But I think Aaron Rodgers is too good to bet against nowadays. So
yeah, Pete, I got you, buddy.
Give me the Packers by 10. Sorry.
I'm going Pack by 10 as well, so we're all on the exact same page here. However, I do believe that the Giants score some points.
We have a request in the comments to do the Vikings game next.
I know, that's what I said. I said, Pete, I got you. So I believe the Giants put up somewhere between 17 and 21. I just believe the Packers score 10 more points than that. I know how good that the Packers defense has been, but until an offense finds a way to actually stop Saquon Barkley, I'm going to lean on Saquon Barkley a little bit. So Packers by 10 also in London at the 9:30 game. Then the next game we are going to do is going to be the Bears visiting the Minnesota Vikings. Bears at 2-2, really, really not looking good. Vikings at 3-1, looking slightly better than they did a few weeks ago. So let's Timmy.
Give me the Vikings. I think Justin Jefferson is going to have another great game. I think Dalvin Cook going to have another good game. The Bears defense isn't really that good. Damian Pierce ran all over them, and Dalvin Cook is better than that. So hopefully the head coach can get that going. But give me the Vikings by probably 7-14.
I got like 23-16 Vikings. I still don't have a lot of faith in their red zone offense, so I see about 2 touchdowns. I think Cook is cooked, in all honesty. I think, between the shoulder injury and the fact that he's just 27 years old now, that seems to be the cliff age for most running backs. So I think Dalvin Cook's about washed. But I think that he'll run well enough. I don't think that he's bad. I think that he's just not Dalvin Cook anymore. Give me the Vikings, like by one of those comfortable, 7-point games where the Bears are never really threatening them at any point.
I'm actually in the exact same boat with you guys. Looks like we're going to have a bunch of similar picks this week. Give me the Vikings. Justin Fields does not look good. He's not going to turn it around this week. So give me the Vikings in one of those 10-point games that the Bears are never really in. Maybe a garbage time touchdown there for either Monty or Khalil Herbert. But this game I don't think actually is close. That's why we say this all the time. The score is not indicative of how the game went. I think it'll be a comfortable victory for the Vikings.
I think they know that too.
Mm-hmm. Pete says, thanks, boys. Big game from Cook, 120 yards total. Go Big Red tonight. He does, in fact, have a Nebraska pregame show. He's trying to get on. He's a Nebraska fan. So thanks, Pete, for joining him for the amount of time you were on. We really do appreciate it. And as always, remember to follow, like, and comment as much as you can.
Tell your friends about us.
Yeah, tell your friends. That's right. Next game, Falcons. Falcons are visiting the Buccaneers, I believe. Falcons are, in fact, visiting the Buccaneers. Both teams are at 2-2 in that division. That division looks a lot different than I thought it was going to start the season. Falcons, Buccaneers, Timmy.
Give me the Bucs. I think Tom Brady's going to bounce back, especially after his wife wants to file a divorce against him. So I think he's going to have a big game showing off that he's still the big guy in the house. The Falcons defense really isn't there. I think Mike Evans, Chris Godwin all get active. Lenny get back on track with a 100-yard game. So, give me the Bucs by 7-14, something like that.
Give me the Bucs comfortably here. They look. Tom Brady hasn't looked particularly bad this year. He's just been without his weapons. Mike Evans missed the fourth quarter, and then the game after. Godwin's been hurt in and out of the lineup. Julio Jones been hurt in and out of the lineup. Cameron Brate is out for this game. However, I don't think that makes too much of a difference for me. I think that they got back on track last week offensively, and they'll continue to do so against a weaker Atlanta team. So, Bucs comfortably.
Ali says, hopefully the Falcons and Bucks will give us a great game. She agrees with Timmy. Brady is going to have fire under his ass due to the current personal issues that he's dealing with at home. Yeah, for that same exact reason, I'm also going Buccaneers. It's not often Tom Brady loses 2 games at home, and I sincerely doubt he's going to lose a third in a row. So, yeah, give me the Buccaneers at home against the Falcons. It's not that I don't think the Falcons will put up some sort of a fight. I absolutely do, but I just don't think it's going to be enough. So give me the Bucks. Detroit Lions visiting the now down to essentially one quarterback New England Patriots because Mac Jones has not been cleared or is not guaranteed to play, and they just placed Brian Hoyer on the IR. So it's Bailey Zappi's game. Lions Patriots. Ryan.
Give me the Lions again. The Lions offense is very obviously potent with or without, Amon-Ra St. Brown. DeAndre Swift was also out. DJ Chark was also out last week. I'm not 100%. I don't think Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to play again. I haven't followed his practice statuses too closely. I can give you guys an update on that later. But
I think he's questionable right now.
Yeah, I think Swift is out, though.
Swift's out. Yeah, Swift's out through their bye. But I think the Lions comfortably. They just have a juggernaut offense right now. I never thought I'd say that in my life, but
yeah, give me the Lions still. Don't get me wrong, Brian Zappi played pretty well against the Packers last week, but now that the Lions are planning for him to be playing, they have a game plan against that. The Lions gave up 126 yards of a Tom Penny, so I'm hoping maybe the running back from New England, running backs will have a good game, but I still think the Lions will outscore them by 10, 6, 17 points. But that would be a close game.
Yeah, as Ryan already talked about, the Lions have an extremely potent offense. They showed it last week without their main weapons, and they still turn around and put up 45 points. I'm not saying the Seahawks have a great defense or anything, but even without – usually when a team is without their biggest weapons, you don't see the yardage and points that they did end up putting up. As I said before earlier in the show, I believe Jared Goff is like quarterback number 2 right now in the league. He's playing pretty well. And the Patriots are kind of banged up a little bit. They don't have a true wide receiver 1. They don't have any sort of discernible tight end position. Their running backs, neither one of them seems to want to actually be a starting running back in the NFL right now. I know Ramondre Stevenson had started to take the role from Damian Harris, but then it's kind of gone back and forth and back and forth. So I don't have a ton of confidence in the Patriots. I know what they did at the Packers last week, but no, give me the Lions. I know that it's in New England, but give me the Lions and probably a 10 to 14 point range.
if it's in Foxborough, I think it's more like 7 points, 6 points, somewhere in that neighborhood.
It is in Foxborough, and according to my search engine here, New England is favored to win that game.
Makes sense.
It's because it's in Foxborough. It's Bill Belichick. I get it. But for me, it's the Lions, yeah. I'm trying to stay true to Stacy's chart here. For those of you who don't know, Stacy, Timmy's wife, has the weeks broken down for us, and she put this week's games in early. So I wanted to do it in her order, not like the Google search window that I've got open, because it makes it easier on her just walking down the list rather than jumping around. So next game is the Houston Texans visiting the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jaguars obviously coming off that loss in Philadelphia last week in the rainstorm/hurricane situation that was there. The Texans have played well this season, but still don't have a victory. Timmy.
Give me the Jags. I think Trevor Lawrence and James Robinson both bounced back from fumbling so many times last week. Houston playing great, don't get me wrong, but I think the Jags have a better receiving core other than Brandon Cooks in my eyes, but better running backs. So give me the Jags by 7. It's going to be a good game, though, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm also taking the Jaguars, actually. I just think that they're the more complete team. As tough as the Texans have played everybody, like Bill alluded to already, they haven't actually shown that they can finish and win a game. And Jacksonville's playing good ball right now, in a game where they completely got embarrassed in the turnover department. You know, Trevor Lawrence fumbled 4 times and threw an interception. They only lost by 1 score. So that should tell you everything. You know, team's resilient. They're going to hang in there, and Doug Peterson's going to find a way to lead that team to victory.
Yeah, I'm still a firm believer of the Jaguars being a playoff team. That doesn't go away. I think I said it after week 1 or even before week 1. I said I think that Doug Peterson makes that team a playoff team, and they're going to continue to roll like in that direction this week. They are going to beat the Texans. Listen, Doug Peterson is a really good coach. I know he didn't get all the love he deserved when he ended up leaving Philadelphia. They gave him a nice little ovation when he came back last week. It was nice of it. And obviously the players all went over and like talked to him and hugged him and said how much they appreciated him. But Doug Peterson's a good coach, and he's got a good young squad there in Jacksonville, and I think he's going to do good things with it. So, yeah, give me the Jaguars. Give me the Jaguars. Again, the Texans are playing pretty decent ball, so it's only going to be like a 7 to 10 point game. But give me the Jags.
Ryan, you want Jags, right?
Yeah. Everybody picked the same team so far.
This week has not been super entertaining. Let's move on to the Chargers and Browns. Maybe we'll get our first misstep here, or maybe I'll just pick a different team.
That means Bill's picking the Browns because the obvious answer is the Chargers. That giveaway.
At this point, I'm going to have to start just picking teams different than you guys.
I mean, in theory, you don't. You have like what, a 3 or 4 game lead on us?
I have a 5 game lead on you guys. Yeah.
Cheating.
You still close the document.
Wait. Right, you don't want to say cheating for Bill because I won't be able to get on. So you better watch your tone.
I'm saying Bill's cheating. I didn't say Stacy's cheating.
He got access to the doctor.
If it makes you feel better, I'll share it so everybody can see what we're looking at, so that everybody knows I'm not cheating.
No, I'm good with that. You leave it private.
But yeah, so Chargers visiting the Browns. Browns are playing pretty decent football. I know they just lost to the Falcons.
Yeah, see, now we're just adding games to this lead, dude. Stacy said 6 game lead. Yeah, there's something fishy going on around here. I'm hiring a PI. We're gonna get this figured out. Calling the lawyer back tonight.
Math is hard, and I can't count. She's right. It is a 6 game lead.
To be fair, she did say
lawyers, dude.
All right, so for what it's worth, Tim's record right now, 37-27-1. Ryan's record right now, 37-27-1. My record right now, 43-22-1. Numbers are hard. I apologize. All right? I don't like that 1.
Hold on. 43-22-1?
Yeah.
And we're 37-27?
Correct.
Something's not right.
I got both of those double point games right. Each of you have one of them wrong.
Okay, yeah. I wasn't sure if, there it is. That's what it was. Because I thought I picked against you both times. I was hang on a second.
No, you and I
have a 5.5 game lead.
You and I took the Dolphins game, and then you took the Ravens, and I took the Bills. It's funny how that happens with the Bills both times. But yeah, anyway, let's roll. Chargers Browns. The Chargers are visiting the Browns. Who went first last time?
Doesn't matter. Just pick somebody.
Tim, go.
Give me the Chargers. I think they bounced back last week pretty well against the Houston Texans. And Jacoby not looking as well as he did against Pittsburgh and the first couple of games he played. He's not utilizing Amari Cooper. Yeah, Nick Chubb is running pretty well still. But give me the Chargers by 3. It's going to be a close game since it's in Cleveland.
Kevin Williams says the Browns are cheeks, and he's taking the Chargers 24-7.
I mean, the Browns have had some suspect games this year. I mean, they blew that double. They blew a 2 touchdown lead to the Jets with less than 2 minutes ago. So I mean, the Browns have definitely done some really suspect things. But I'm taking the Chargers also by about 6 points. I think even with Keenan Allen out again for his 4th straight game, it's not going to make too much of a difference.
The Chargers have also done some pretty suspect things here. Not just the Browns on this one. So I know that they're visiting the Browns, and we've already discussed how the Browns lost to the Falcons last week and all that other good stuff. I also am taking the Chargers. I know it's not an exciting show to this point. Hopefully we get a little bit of division down here.
The games that are scheduled just are so bad this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the only one that we could have maybe gone the other way was the Lions-Patriots. but even that, like, yeah.
This one and that one, yeah.
Yeah. So the Tua Tagovailoa is not playing. Miami Dolphins versus New York Jets. Tyreek Hill also may not play.
The coach is hopeful, so that's good news.
Hopeful does not mean playing.
Good news in my book.
I think he plays. He had a
I think
limited
he plays,
practice.
too.
It's not like he missed.
Good,
Give me
Tim.
the Dolphins. Give me the Dolphins. Still, either way, without Tyreek, they still have Jalen Waddle. Teddy Bridgewater is efficient enough quarterback to win a game without Tua. Don't get me wrong, I think the Jets have been playing phenomenal football lately, but I don't think they're good enough to cover both Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle at the same time. So give me the Dolphins by 7.
Timmy or Ryan?
I'm going to take the Dolphins as well, and it has not so much to do with the Dolphins. I just need to see more out of Zach Wilson first before I go ahead and commit to the Jets. I mean, he looked fine in the fourth quarter, or the second half really, but more so the fourth quarter last week. But that was his first game back. You know, he definitely had some downs to go with those ups. So give me the Dolphins here. I think they're the more established team, but I think the Jets will make this a close game. I think this is within one score.
Divisional games always are weird in the NFL. And as Ryan has said a million times, it's tough to win on the road in the NFL. The Jets are a pretty decent team. They're young. They're inexperienced. They got a good coach so far, Robert Saleh. The Dolphins are just better on paper. That's why I'm going with the Jets. The Jets. Jets. Listen,
we're not doing a double bet this week, but you got to stop saying that if they lose.
If they lose, fine. Here's my reasoning on this one is because Tua Tagovailoa is out. Yes, I do have faith in Teddy Bridgewater, but it does change the dynamic of that team. Teddy's arm is probably stronger than Tua's. However, I'm not sure he's as accurate, and he's less mobile. And the offensive line, while decent, isn't phenomenal. Now, on the opposite side of the ball, the Jets have been good at creating pressure, creating havoc in the backfield, and I think that's going to continue. Give me the Jets. Yes, Zach Wilson's going to need to show me something, and I'm really going out on a limb here for the Dolphins-Jets situation. But yeah, give me the Jets. All right, we got our first
At least it's one different
game.
game.
What'd you say, Tim?
At least it's one different game. Me and Ryan can catch some ground.
The next game is.
We're the only ones that want to go 16-0 this week, I guess.
I hope the Jets win because if they do, you guys are going to have to start saying it with me.
I'm not saying that.
I would never say that.
Steelers are visiting the Bills. Kenny Pickett.
This game is going to be embarrassingly far apart. It's going to be the Bills by like 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Ryan. I feel bad for Kenny Pickett. With TJ Watt out on the right side of the Steelers defense, they're not impressing me any. They get lost to the Jets. Give me the Bills by 24, 32, something like that.
Even if TJ Watt plays, this game is not close. There's too much inexperience for Kenny Pickett right now in that offense. Keep in mind, he was the backup until this past week, which means he didn't get first-team rep with all these guys. Will Kenny Pickett be good in the future? Who's to say? But he's going to look real bad in this game. I predict he gets picked off 3 times, or he turns the ball over 3 times, and it's just a rough day for the Steelers and Mike Tomlin's team. Give me the Bills, and I'm somewhere in the 21 to 24 point range, meaning the Bills win by 21 or 24 points.
That's how impactful TJ Watt is. With TJ Watt in the game, I would say that the Steelers lose 24 to 17. Without TJ Watt, I think that they lose like 30 to 10.
I agree with that, Ryan.
You might be right. I just don't. It doesn't change the outcome. The Bills are going to be victorious here. Yeah, Bills will move on to 4-1, 5-1, 4-1, 5-1, 4-1.
4-1. Math is hard.
Seattle Seahawks visiting the New Orleans Saints. Allie says, Timmy calling the Bills by 32 sounds like another excellent bet opportunity.
Yeah, that's a wild. I would never bet on a team to win by that many points. That's insane.
How confident are you, Timmy?
Not confident at all.
Yeah, no, that's insane. You would never catch me saying something like that. That's wild. This is the NFL, brother.
Kevin Williams, I don't know if I said it before, but thanks for tuning in and giving us some feedback. He said he's picking Seattle in the Seattle New Orleans game.
In the Seattle who? Who did they play?
New Orleans game. Seattle Saints.
This is actually going to be an interesting game. The Red Rifle's starting again.
Is
Red Rifle is starting.
Yep.
is it in Seattle or
It
at
is
New Orleans?
in New Orleans. It's in the Dome.
Gino played really well last week.
Dude, that's what I'm saying, man. This is a tough game to pick.
Rashawn Penny played really good last week.
The Red Rifle played really good last week. The Kamara-less Saints almost come back and beat the Vikings. Like, we can say it all the way around the board.
Metcalf played really well last week. Lockett played really well.
Metcalf had to get carted off so he could shit.
He did.
Take your 10 picks so I can pick the opposite, damn it.
I'm going to say Seattle. But
All right, bet. I was going to say New Orleans, so I'm good there.
I'm saying Seattle, but by 3. Nothing too big.
Yeah, I'm giving it to the home team here. It's hard to win on the road in the NFL. And the Seattle, kind of pulled a little bit of an upset out last week, so I think that they're kind of due for a bad one. Gino has played phenomenally well. Rashad Penny absolutely, did his thing last week. But the Saints' red zone defense was on point, and I think that the Vikings' offense is better than Seattle's, quite frankly. So give me the Saints here by 3-7, one-score game.
Kevin Williams says Gino's been playing phenomenally, but how sustainable is it for him? That's a good question. You're talking he played well enough to beat what we now know is a bad Broncos team in week 1. Then he looked really bad for 2 games. And then he turned around and he lit it up against the Lions last week. The Lions defense we know is one of the worst in football. So you really got to take that with a grain of salt. The Saints defense is significantly better than the Lions. Flat out.
Every defense is significantly better than the Lions. The Lions have the worst defense in the NFL.
Yeah. So for me, this also comes down to the Saints are the home team here. So give me the Saints in a 7 to 10 point win area. Not that I don't think the Seahawks put up a good game. I do think they do. But for me, it's the defense is so much better in New Orleans than it is in Detroit. So for me, it's the Saints.
Do we have a double pointer this week or no?
Give me
Not yet.
Quick question. The Lions stadium is a dome, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, give me Gino in a temperature controlled environment because he played really well in that temperature controlled environment in the dome.
You did. You took the Seahawks. It's already been written in the document. You're locked in.
I'm saying it again.
As soon as it's in.
So are you double win confident?
No.
Come on.
No.
Baby. You just called Bill a baby last week because he wouldn't do it.
2 good teams. Two bad teams.
See, 2 even parred teams is what we're looking for. I
I'm
don't
not
care
taking that.
I don't care if they're both good or both bad.
Next.
This is the document in which I'm referring to for all you fans who can see it. Sorry, on Spotify, I know you can't. Stacy is nice enough to be editing it for us while we're making our picks, as you can see. Once it's typed in, it's locked in stone. It don't move.
Like, for instance, last week I was talking so high on the Browns. I said the Falcons, and I won
That was so wild, dude. I didn't even realize that.
Me either until I went back and re-listened to it. Stacy called me out on that one.
Yeah. All right, next game is the Tennessee Titans visiting the Washington Commanders.
Give me the Commanders. I think the Commanders bounce back and have a pretty decent game.
Tennessee is favored to win.
That's fine.
Yeah, it's going to be Tennessee.
I think Carson Wentz had the better game. Hopefully the offensive line can block for them, but give me the Commanders by a close game. Like 3.
It's set in stone.
That's fine.
Give me the Titans. Give me the Titans here. Comfortably, confidently, if Tim wants to do double wins.
No.
Yeah, it's not even close for me. It's the Titans. The Commies defense hasn't really shown a whole lot this year. Derrick Henry looks like he's getting back on track. Tannehill is using the players at his disposal really well. Treylon Burks is starting to look better. Give me. He is out. That's right. I apologize. Robert Woods and Nyheim Hines-Westbrook look to take the helm there, but still, give me the Titans.
Nick Westbrook and Nicky.
What did I say?
I don't know, dude, but it wasn't right.
The gibberish that I just spouted off was incorrect.
You said Hines, Westbrook, and something, dude. I don't know.
I don't know. I apologize. But yeah, give me the Titans. It's set in stone. It's already written. Next game, 49ers versus the Panthers. 49ers are traveling out to the Carolina Panthers. Niners. It's a 4:05 start. It does change, right? They like that changes. Timmy, go first.
I've been going first a lot lately, but give
I'm
me
sorry.
no,
Stop. Ryan, go first.
no, that's fine. I go first. Give me the 49ers. It definitely does change my mind from a 405 to 105 start. So give me the Niners with probably by 7.
I was still going to pick the Niners, but I asked that question in hopes that, like, if it was a 1:00 start, you guys would be like, "Oh, I'm going to pick the Panthers now." But yeah, the Niners are just a better football team. I mean, we saw that last week when they beat the Rams, pretty good in all facets of the game. And the Panthers are one of the teams that I'm never going to pick to win a football game until they show me that they can actually win a football game. So
They are 1-3.
they're terrible.
Yeah, the Panthers are a bad football team. Give me the 49ers here. What the Niners did in San Francisco last week against a very good Stafford-led Rams offense last week, it impressed me a lot. Yeah, give me the Niners. And honestly, if this is a close game, that would surprise me. And I don't mean close in the sense of score. I've said this before. The score is not indicative of how the game was played. I'm talking the Niners take a lead relatively early, and they coast through the rest of this game. The score might only be 7-point victory, but I'm talking it's a comfortable Niner victory is how I'm seeing it's going to happen.
I agree with that.
Our first of two 425 games this week is the Cowboys. The Cowboys are visiting 3-1 Dallas Cowboys. Cooper Rush-led Cowboys are visiting the 2-2 Los Angeles Rams. Rams coming off of that loss to the Niners, as we just talked about. Rams are favored in this by 3.5.
Give me the Rams. I think Cooper Kupp is going to go off. Let me rephrase that. I think Cooper Kupp is going to expose Trayvon Diggs that he's not that good of a corner. So, give me the Rams by 7.
Ryan?
I'm taking the Cowboys, man.
God damn it.
Look, here's the reality of the situation, right? The Rams offense, they look good in Atlanta, but they don't look that great. And the Cowboys have an elite defense. Okay, I got to go hit the mouthwash real quick. The Cowboys have an elite defense. Like, they're a very good defense.
That out of your mouth.
Cooper Rush is playing well enough that he could mirror exactly what Jimmy Garoppolo just did in the last game. And they could operate that offense in the same manner that the 49ers did. The Rams offense is out of sync right now. They were moving the ball between the 20s, and then they get in the red zone, and then it was just nothing. And, Stafford's got his own problems figured out. They can't protect Stafford to save their life, and the Cowboys are second in the NFL in sacks right now. So give me the Cowboys here because their defense is good, but hope I'm wrong.
It's the Cowboys for me.
They get a double.
Done. I don't see the Rams pulling this one out. The way the Niners exposed them last week. Listen, this is not the Super Bowl winning Rams that we saw last year. It's just not. The Niners kind of exposed them a little bit last week. Showed that if you fake pressure and then back out of it, the 4 can get home. The offensive line is not playing well, and as Ryan already talked about, is the Cowboys have the most sacks in football right now. The Cowboys are going to go into LA and win this game.
They have the second most sacks behind.
I'm sorry, they have the second most sacks in football behind the Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, behind the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm going to say that a few more times. The Cowboys are behind the Philadelphia Eagles. But this NFC East is looking like a pretty strong division this season, and you got to give credit where it's due. I don't like McCarthy as a coach. I really don't. And I think we've discussed that several times. However, the coaching staff around him is putting together great game plans with Cooper Rush, and the Cowboys look like a good team.
Did Ryan agree to the double point?
So, yeah, give me the Cowboys.
Ryan, do you agree for the double point?
No, because you have to agree to one of my games first.
That's bull. I agree. I agreed last week to the Ravens.
What?
Okay, so it's
last week for the Ravens.
So it's not a double points unless all three of us agree. Therefore, it's not a double points game.
I'm also not ever going to rely on the Cowboys to give me 2 wins.
That's right.
Like, I picked them to win,
so
but
listen,
I'm going to root against them the whole time. Like, if we show up on Tuesday and do our recap show and you were right, I'm not giving you 2 wins for that because I'll still be equally as happy. So I'm not doing that.
Tim Hawkins says Dan Quinn, man, meaning the job that Dan Quinn's doing in Dallas for that defense is absolutely phenomenal. And
Sure, hell ain't Kellen Moore.
sorry, I lost my train of thought there. But yeah, so again, Cowboys game that we are looking forward to watching. Even though, again, I will be in the Dallas area while this is going on. Philadelphia Eagles visiting the Arizona Cardinals. Ryan, I'll let you fire off first on this one.
Y'all not going to like me for this.
Picking the Cardinals, huh?
Teams don't go undefeated, number one. Obviously, only one team in the NFL has gone undefeated. 2, the Eagles have looked fantastic. They are a better team than the Cardinals, top to bottom. Top to bottom, the Eagles are the better team in the NFL. Every team has a slip-up game. Every team has that comeback down to earth game. Traveling out west with an Arizona team that is still a very good roster. They just haven't gotten it quite going yet. I'm going to take the Cardinals by 3 here. I think that the Eagles are the better team, but if I had to pick a slip-up game, it was going to be this one. And I'd be okay with that because that would mean that the Eagles would come back motivated for week 6, ready to punch the Cowboys in the mouth.
So I thought about this game all week. And I think the Eagles going to jump out big quick, like they normally do in every game. But they're going to coast it in the 3rd and 4th quarter, and the Cardinals are going to make a game out of it. But I'm still going to take the Eagles by 3.
I agree with that comment by Kevin Williams. I am also not a Kyler Murray believer. I think in the long run that he is not a franchise quarterback, that the Arizona Cardinals did in fact make a mistake paying him all that money. However, he's won games before. He's been on some good football teams, and stuff happens in the NFL. You know, the better team on paper doesn't win every week. That's as simple as it gets.
Yeah, I mean, look at the 07 Super Bowl, Patriots-Giants.
Or the 2011 Patriots-Giants Super Bowl.
Well, yeah, there you go. Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, any Super Bowl involving the Patriots and the Giants.
I absolutely love Timmy's take. The Eagles are going to go out early. They're gonna show up fired up. They're going to get out early, and then they're going to make the mistake that they made in week 1 and 2 and kind of take their foot off the gas. And they're going to let the other team back in it, this time it being the Cardinals. Now, listen, the Cardinals have shown that they can come back from 24 down, 17 down, whatever it was.
23-0.
And I think they do it again. I think the Eagles go into halftime winning big, and Sirianni and Gannon make the mistake of starting to play prevent and taking their foot off the gas on offense. The Eagles don't score a touchdown or any points in the second half, which is already a concern that the Eagles have. And I think the Cardinals get back in this game. I also believe the Cardinals win by 3 points. I don't like it. I'm an Eagles fan, but I agree with Ryan. I think this is that slip-up game before the Eagles go and play Dallas and absolutely punch the Cowboys in the mouth, because it's supposedly Dak Prescott's coming back in that game, and fine, whatever. I don't care. Fine, whatever. I don't care. Either way, for me, I think this is the one game the Eagles lose before their bye, and I think they come out and look really good in the first half. I'm flat out against the Cardinals. They're going to look really good. But I think they slip up in the second half, as they've done in previous weeks. Fortunately, they haven't lost games in previous weeks, but they've let their foot off the gas, and it's shown. This past week, they had to continue playing well because Jacksonville was so close to them in the points. But they still only won that game by 8 points. I mean, you're talking about a one-possession game. The Eagles are the better team. The Cardinals are going to win the game.
Yep, that's my take on that. 9 times out of 10, the Eagles would win this game, but not this one.
It hurts me to say it. I'm such a homer that I always want to take the Eagles, even when they're a bad team. I want to take the Eagles, but we got something on the line here. I'm not purchasing some Dallas Cowboys shit. I'm not doing it. So
did we ever announce that was our thing?
I think we did, but for fans who don't know, we all hate the Cowboys, absolutely hate them. So the loser has to go in or on Amazon, spend their own money on Dallas Cowboys products and wear them on a live show.
I'm burning it right afterwards.
And then you can take a video of you burning it because it's going to be you.
I'm wiping my ass with it. If I win, if I lose, I'm wiping my ass with it.
Don't take a video of that, please.
I'm taking a video of it.
But yeah, so all of us hate the Cowboys. That's the punishment for the loser. And actually, that's a pretty good gentleman's bet. I like that. I think we can probably continue that going for a few years here. Yes. So next game, Sunday Night Football, Bengals visiting the Ravens. Bengals coming off of that Thursday night victory against the Dolphins. Ravens coming off of the collapse that they had last week against the Bills. Back-to-back collapses, mind you. And this game is also in Baltimore. Tim, what you got?
Charm, baby.
I think that.
Hold on, Tim. I'm sorry. Let me read this. Allie Brandt, who, for those of you who don't know, is my wife, said you did announce it, yes, and you credited me, her, meaning, for the brilliant idea, and she's welcome again. Yes, we do appreciate it. That is a phenomenal idea. Timmy, I'm sorry. Continue.
I thought about this game all week also. I keep going.
I gave this game no thought.
Oh, this game I thought about deeply.
I keep going.
Obviously, you're going to choose the Bengals, Bill.
You guys love cutting me off.
What?
Give me the Bengals.
Ryan.
Give me the Bengals close. Like Brian said last week on the podcast, the Ravens defense, it gets after they get up big, they coasting and the defense can't handle the coast for the offense. So give me the Bengals by 3 close. Very close the whole game.
This is a weird scenario where the Ravens defense sucks and the Bengals offense really hasn't gotten going yet. I like John Harbaugh. I think he's a great coach. It's so hard for me to sit here and say that they're going to lose 3 games in a row at home like that. Give me the Ravens at home. But if I make this mistake again, so help me God, I'm going to Baltimore and I'm going to put a hurting on them people. I mean, without Rashad Bateman, that is key, though. However, Mark Andrews, J.K. Dobbins, look to be closer to his normal self last week with 2 touchdowns. So I think even without Bateman, give me the Ravens.
Dobbins questionable for Sunday.
No, he got full practices Thursday and Friday, so he's good.
Yeah, it's just like we talked about with the Buccaneers. It's hard to lose 3 straight home games. It's really hard to lose 3 straight home games. But unlike the Buccaneers, I believe the Ravens are going to do it. It's the Bengals for me. They haven't gotten going, and I would agree with that. However, they showed flashes against a good Dolphins defense, the Bengals meaning. And I think they're going to pick up on that momentum. Joe Burrow, the game plan changed. They found ways to get the football out of his hand very quickly, and I think that remains again. And that Dolphins defense is better than the Ravens defense. And I don't even think it's close. I don't. I know that, the Dolphins suffered the injury to Tua Tagovailoa, and it wasn't the same game plan, and the Bengals got the ball more. I do believe it'll be a close game. I don't think the Ravens are going to blow a 21-point lead, a 17-point lead. I don't think that's going to happen. I just think the Bengals are going to come out, play a really good game. They're going to go punch for punch. The Bengals are going to win.
2 things. One, I said, so you're definitely going with the Bengals, and you shook your head no. So, yes, I was right. Number 2, you said it's not going to be close, and then at the end of the next sentence said, you think it's going to be a close game?
Yeah.
Did I say it's not going to be close? No, I meant that, it's not going to be one of those, the Ravens are far ahead, and then the Bengals have to come back things. That's what I meant.
This game, I'll do double points on.
Raiders-Chiefs. Raiders are visiting the Chiefs.
No, I meant the Bengals-Ravens one. That's one I would do double points on. But
no, I'm good.
I would do it. But
come on, Tim.
All right, fine.
Oh, God, I wish you said no. All right, that's fine. Double points on that one, Stacy. The Bengals-Ravens. And then, just so everybody, she's typing it in. It's happening. We're doing double points so everybody can see it. There it is, double points. Monday Night Football. We might actually get a good primetime game. Los Angeles Raiders visiting the Kansas City Chiefs.
What do you
Ryan.
think is going to be a good game?
Go ahead, Ryan.
Are you smoking dope over there? It's going to be like a 2-touchdown game for the Chiefs. Did you see what they just did to Tampa in Tampa? This game ain't going to be close.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Chiefs by a very substantial margin.
I said word for word, maybe we'll finally get a good primetime game. I have to say it.
We're going to have a terrible another primetime game.
No, this game's going to be a blowout.
Give it a Chiefs by 14. Bill?
Oh, that's all. Okay, yeah. No, I mean, I think this is pretty cut and dry. Give me the Chiefs. Look again, Ryan already said it. Look what the Chiefs did to the Buccaneers in Tampa. 41 points. And they kind of let their foot off the gas in the fourth quarter a bit. 41 points. Big Red's going to have them ready to go. I don't care that it's a divisional matchup. The Raiders haven't really looked good at any point in time in this season. I realized that they have a victory last week. It doesn't mean, week one or whatever it was. It doesn't really mean anything to me. Give me the Chiefs. And Timmy, you said it's what, 7-10? Is that what you said, Timmy?
I said by 14.
Okay, yeah, I'm also in the 14-17 range. And honestly, I think that's just a garbage time touchdown making it a 14-17 range. I don't think this game is close at any point in time.
Yeah, this game doesn't need any explanation. Yeah, it's a divisional game. It could go weird, but it's not going to.
Until the Raiders learn how to use Devontae Adams, absolutely not. No way.
Renfro's out again, too. No, Renfro returned to practice.
Yeah, he got 2
Renfro and Waller returned to practice.
Yeah, they both returned to practice today, yeah.
They'll need them. They'll need all the help they can get.
Yeah, so it hurt me to say that the Cowboys were going to win. It also hurt me to say that the Eagles are going to lose. But that's where we're at right now. And, yeah, so that is all of our predictions for Week 5 in the NFL. Go Phillies tomorrow.
Go Phils.
Do you guys have anything before I close this out?
No. I'm on a show tonight, way later tonight.
You ready to click that button?
Yes, I am, sir.
Well, thank you, fans, for joining us here on BSing Sports, where we do a little BS and we talk a whole lot of sports. Have a good night.